Formula One moves away from Miami, bypasses Emilia-Romagna and comes for round 6 of the season at Monte Carlo. With the sad cancellation of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody there with their terrible flooding. The Formula One circus respectfully cancelled the weekend, the correct decision. We move on now to 2 races in 2 weekends, Monaco and Spain before a 2-week break. Canada, then a 2-week break. Austria and Great Britain back-to-back before Hungary and Belgium take us to the summer break. Netherlands and Italy straight afterwards, followed then by Singapore, Japan, Qatar, United States as sprint races, Mexico, Brazil the last sprint race, and then Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi round out the season in November. In the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads by 14 points to Sergio Perez. Fernando Alonso is just now clear of Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz. George Russell is sneaky up in that battle as well. Charles Leclerc only on 34 points. Lance Stroll, Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly round out the top 10. On the second page, it looks like Noah's Ark. 2 apiece for everybody as well. Nico Hülkenberg on 6, Bottas and Piastri on 4, 3 drivers on 2, that being Zhou, Tsunoda and Magnussen. Alexander Albon, the last driver with points. No points so far in their rookie years for Logan Sargent or Nick de Vries. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way by 122 points to Aston Martin. Mercedes are just behind them, but are clear of Ferrari, who are clear of both McLaren and Alpine, who have the same amount of points. Haas are 2 clear of Alfa Romeo, who are 4 clear of AlphaTauri. Williams, the last team, but does have 1 point to their name. Let's take a look around the Circuit de Monaco, a 2.074 mile circuit, 19 turns in total, 41.29 metre elevation change and just 1 DRS zone. A fan and driver's favourite. The lap begins coming out of Anthony Nose on a curved start straight and out towards turn 1. 210 metres for you on the brakes into Saint-Devote. Up the hill at Beau Rivage towards Massenet. Keep the car sort of as best straight as you can for a light dab of the brakes into Massenet at the top of the hill. Then it's into Casino Square before avoiding the bump on the left-hand side of the track downhill into the Mirabeau hairpin down to 2nd gear. Control the throttle as you come around the Lowe's hairpin or Fairmont hairpin, whichever you prefer. 30 miles per hour, the slowest corner on the track. Portier 1 leads into Portier 2 as well before you can get open the throttle as you come down through the tunnel section. Keep the car in as you adjust to the sunlight bursting in your eyes. Downhill braking zone into the Nouvelle chicane. Flick through as tight as possible. Opportunity to overtake is here. Down towards to back as well. Don't hit the bar on the outside as you flick the car through. Then try and keep a straight line by touching the barriers to the swimming pool chicane. Braking hard then as well. Provide a interesting little end to the lap at Rascasse as well. A tight sort of hairpin after a straight. Anthony Noakes as well, the tightest corner on the track. Booted hard towards the line with the DRS open, across the line, and that is a lap of Monte Carlo. Hello everybody and welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix in 2023. We had the cancellation of the Emilia-Romagna race and now we are here all set to go for Monte Carlo. Alongside me in the commentary box is Josh T. Tom will be here shortly. Omi's here too. He'll be in the pit lane for the action as well. And Dio Nat says, hello, let's go Papaya with your new dress as well. It looks fantastic as well, the new McLaren livery, back to what we saw back in the 80s and everything as well. But Josh is alongside us at the moment. Josh, we're back in Monaco. No more Tele Monte Carlo, a correct graphic for everything. Boy, oh boy, are we looking forward to this great weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We can already see the differences between Tele Monte Carlo production and F1 TV production immediately into F3 practice. Yesterday, yes, Thursday practice is back for the support series. We had F3, F2, and the Porsches, which I believe we're covering this season, yeah? Awesome.
Yeah, we are covering the Porsche Super Cup, the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup we are covering this season as well. So we're going to have a lot to look forward to. Omi, coming to you, Monte Carlo, always going to be a great series to get into as well, but there is so much pressure on everything in terms of upgrades that the teams brought for last time out, but haven't had chance to use, i.e. Mercedes. They've actually done it after 1.5 seasons almost. They've gone back to having side pods, and already it's causing a bit of drama.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, great to be here in the pit lane for this first session. Really excited for it, and yes, we have updates everywhere we look and across the whole field. But one of the teams that don't have updates is Red Bull, which they don't actually need because well, it's kind of like it's a bit like they're in another. It's kind of like their Formula 1 while everyone else is Formula 2. I guess that's a good example for it. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be close. I've been hoping all week that we get a bit of a wet qualifying, which mixes up the grid, and then I don't care if it's a dry race or a wet race, but I want to see some of the top guys make dive bombs into the Rascals or wherever to make some moves, and I want to be able to see some of the other drivers defend, because usually if we have maybe a midfield car up there, you don't always see them defend because it's not their race. But at this circuit, obviously they will defend because there's a big chance that they'll win. So I will not be surprised if we do get a bit of a mixed up grid, and we're seeing a lot of battles out there, which I'm hoping, and it'll be a great race for us. Will probably end up being the best race of the season.
Fingers crossed, there's going to be a lot to look forward to. And Josh, as Omi said, we had rain yesterday in Formula 3 practice. It dried up in time for the F2 practice session, but it's been dry so far today. But as Omi says, rain coming in tomorrow. What would you rather have? A dry qualifying, that's one of the best of the season, or a wet qualifying, that could be the best ever?
Well, it depends what the weather's going to be on Sunday, which is, I believe, wet. So if you have a wet practice 3 and a wet qualifying, then that would help you get data for a wet race at Monaco. So I think wet.
Might also notice as well, since Miami, Josh T's back with us, and he's also got a new headset and a new bus mixer and new capture card. Basically, he's just got everything he needs at the moment. But we're back then. Feels weird, doesn't it? Formula 1. We had, what was it? Australia, 3-week gap. Baku, Miami, 3-week gap. Monaco, Spain. So the calendar, as much as we've been saying, is very congested at the moment. It hasn't really been much going on, has it? I mean, they're going to have to sort of fix a lot of it going into the next 2 races. I mean, Monaco doesn't really have a lot to do with it, but Spain, next time out, is just going to be unbelievable for these guys.
It is, and also another addition for this weekend, Sleeping Doggo.
We just see him in the background, actually, coming in. Track temperature, well, that's looking good. It's at 47 degrees. Air temperature at 26 as well. We're getting set then for the action. Let's hand over to Simon Lazenby, who's going to give us all the updates on what times are on this weekend.
Absolutely gorgeous day here in Monaco. Bright blue sky, sun is shining, and everything's set fair for a couple of hours of practice. Practice 2 from 3:45, the F1 show from 5:15. Practice 3, 11:15 tomorrow, qualifying from 2:15, and on Sunday, 12:30 for a race start at 2 o'clock. We'll wrap it up. We'll look ahead to Spain in the podcast as well from Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. New race suit for Charles Leclerc today as well, all white. and go for a third pole in a row here in the Principality. Let's head up to the commentary box. Naomi's scuttled up there to join Anthony and Natalie.
Bonjour and welcome to the Côte d'Azur. The Principality of Monaco is back for the 80th running of the Grand Prix de Monaco. The Principality has hosted Formula One since the 1950s. It is round 6, technically round 7 of the season, with the cancellation of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. We move on then back to the more central of Europe, in the south of France as well, but in the little country of Monaco. We race around the entirety on the seafront here. It's the shortest track of the year, just 2.074 miles, full throttle for 44% of the lap time as well. 19 turns, 41.95 metre elevation change, but it's also the longest race of the year at 78 laps, whilst also being the shortest at 290 kilometres. Tyres, well, it's the softest. It's the red C5, the yellow C4, and the white C3 tyres as well into contention. We could see the green inters and blue wets coming into it over the next few days with rain in the air. But right now, nothing is spoiling this shot. It's practice one here in Monaco. Track temperature, as I said, 48 degrees, air temperature 26. It's clear blue skies. The busiest port in the world is Monaco for the 4 days across this. Yesterday it was F3 and F2. Today, F1's turn to get all the action as well. Alongside me in the commentary box is Josh T and Tom Dillon as well. Good morning to you as well. A lot of action, Tom. A lot of anticipation of the year. We had a cancelled Emilia-Romagna, but now Monaco can put us on the right track as well as we look out towards the harbour. Good morning.
It's my favourite track of the year, probably. Up there with Spa. I love Monaco, and well, it's going to be an exciting day, particularly because Mercedes have brought their new upgrades to this circuit, haven't they? With that new side pod design, they finally caved and gone for a more traditional side pod layout. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get up to speed. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get out of Q1, the Q2, I should say, this weekend, Josh.
Is this going to be the silver bullet for the Black Arrows this weekend as well? Is this going to be Mercedes back on form now they've got this new energy components as well? Or are we going to see pretty much the same old Mercedes that we've seen for the past 2 seasons, sadly?
I fear that they've gone backwards. I think this is the right platform to choose, but I think to go to the platform with a budget cap this late into the season, essentially 7 rounds is quite a long time to be waiting for an entire design philosophy change. I fear that they're going to be on the back foot for a while, and then they're going to have to they'll get the performance back, and I think this is a step forward in order to take a few steps, a step back in order to take a few steps forward.
Let's go down to the pit lane then, hear from Ted Kravitz before we welcome Josh in.
The image that we can see down here, bathed in sunlight. We see the clouds, the crowds on the rock, not a cloud in the sky, blue skies above us, and all the expectation, of course, to see whether Red Bull can continue their streak of wins, or whether it's going to be Ferrari or potentially Aston Martin's weekend. And the team come here really on a high because they've just confirmed their future as a works engine team. It's not for a few years yet, not for 2.5 years until the beginning of the 2026 season, but it is with Honda. Yes, you might say a rival car manufacturer to Aston Martin. Maybe they're not exactly in the same market, but in Formula One at least they are now together. It will be Aston Martin Honda going forward in a few years' time. The Honda in the back of the Red Bull is already out. That's Sergio Perez just behind me going out on the hard tyres. And there we go, there's Fernando Alonso. And part of the story for me, Natalie, this weekend is going to be seeing the progress of this guy. He needs a perfect weekend, but if he gets it, he could be on pole and he could win the race. Look between then and now.
could be. Green light coming on in 10 seconds time then, and we will be underway. Just so you can move the flags. No, I didn't. It was a green flag. Away we go here in Monaco for practice at the end of the pit lane now. So let's welcome in Josh. A lot to look forward to here in Monaco. New TV directors as well, which means finally we're going to see Monaco as it's meant to be seen, as everyone heading out the track right now on hard compound tyres.
Yeah, and hello everybody. And the rock wall or stone wall that Ted was talking about, that is general admission, and you can see most of the circuit from there. So if you can get there on race day, it is absolutely incredible.
But when have we ever seen this shot before? A helicopter view at Monaco looking down at the track. This is fantastic.
Never.
Oh, I'm so happy. This is Formula One with a new direction and a new blood, and no more giving me a headache, as well as we look at Perez coming through the tunnel as well. Cars are out there, and we can actually see them on the driver tracker as well. They're zoomed in massively with De Vries, Tsunoda in there. It's a tight circuit. Norris, Sainz and Leclerc have gone out there on medium compound tyres. Remember, you still get the free tyre for the first 40 minutes, sorry, for the first 20 minutes of this session now as well as they come through. But everyone's looking okay. Tom, what was your reaction to the announcement that F1 are going to be producing the coverage instead of Tele Monte Carlo as well? Was it a big cheer?
Well, we mentioned it on IndyCar, didn't we? And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, it doesn't really make a difference to me. But I don't really mind. I didn't think they were bad before, but I would take an improvement. The other thing as well is that the advertising boards around the track are now designed by Formula One and
Yes.
not by the local Monegasque authorities. So you can see that, well, obviously as we go through Casino Square, we've got the Le Casino boards, but as you go through Rasgas and things, it's now Pirelli. Boarding up through the tunnel is now, I forget which boarding it was
isn't
as they went through there, but yeah, it was AWS, I think. So it's a nice little improvement, and I think presentation of these Grand Prix is very, very important, because it's automatically on the back foot from people thinking it's boring.
Yeah. And also, the one thing I'm sad to see go is Zepter as well. That's no longer here, which is disappointing. I haven't seen a banner yet, but we're going to see much more shots over the next few hours as well. Heineken looking a prime spot into the back as well. It makes the track look a bit tighter as well, if you notice, with all the sponsors on it as well, as we see Verstappen get out of the way of Perez there into the chicane at the swimming pool. The track looks tighter, it looks narrower, and it actually looks a bit more exciting, doesn't it, Josh? Because look, we've got traffic already coming into Raskas as everyone tries to start their first laps of the session.
Yeah, well, 3 minutes in 2, 1, 3 minutes in. Let's have a look at Max Verstappen exiting his pit garage.
Oh, did he get out? It's very tight here. Let's listen.
Yeah, the clutch is almost impossible out of the pits. Okay,
The clutch issue there for Verstappen, as you say. That
One of the tightest pit lanes on the paddock there, isn't it, as well? So getting out of there is
Yeah.
quite tight, and let's hope we get it sorted soon. Everything is underway though. Cars are out there. Fernando Alonso's done a 1:20.403. It's his first lap time of the session, as well as Christian Horner watches on. Remember, Red Bull this weekend have a different pit wall than normal, because the pit wall's actually in the top tower. So he's got to go right up towards the top. So we'll hear from some of them as well. Lando Norris doing a 1:18.618 is his fastest time. We ride at the moment, I think, with Valtteri Bottas coming into the braking zone. Actually, who are we on board with here? I can't.
Leclerc.
Oh, it's Charles Leclerc. Looked to me like Bottas. I thought it might be a Ferrari. New livery this weekend for McLaren as well. They have the sort of Marlborough throwback livery as well. They've gone with a white and orange front and back livery as well to represent the 1984 Monaco Grand Prix win with Alain Prost. The front is the 1995 GT victory at Le Mans as well. And I think the orange as well was, they said it was because of Bruce McLaren's victories as well. But it just all looks like it's back in, well, some people have been describing it as a burnt cigarette, or a cigarette that's been smoked at one end as well. Like, it's subtle, but it's there if you see it, as Leclerc gets a big kick coming out of the Lowe's hairpin, riding on board driver's eye into Portier. That's no longer Portier because of the buildings on the opposite side as they've increased the landmass. Through the tunnel with driver's eye is going to give you a great example of how much the light flashes you as you have to pick your braking spot into the Nivelle chicane. And already we're seeing angles that we've never seen of Monaco before. Formula 1 are really trying to go out in this opening session to give us the best stuff. Hello to Adam who says, hi guys, have a nice weekend. Going to be rainy and cold weather here in the US for me. I'll just listen and watch you guys. Stay warm. So dear Nat says, hi, my son shares your name. Oh wow, that's a good one. SHT says, hello, Norris and both frozen mediums.
Cars bottoming a lot. Understood.
Max Verstappen having some issues there, it seems already. As they fly back through.
Are we surprised?
Not really, no. I understand we're not seeing Sky F1's commentary box camera because the Sky F1 commentary box had quite a lot of flooding at Emilia-Romagna, so a lot of their equipment was damaged. So I'm not actually sure if that camera's been replaced yet or if they actually have their same headsets or not. I'm waiting to see. I hope they do because those headsets cost $2,000 each and they've got 4 of them.
We're 1/16 at the moment, which is quite interesting for this stage of qualifying. 1:16.8. I don't have to hand what pole was last year. If I remember correctly, it was in
seconds.
the 1:12s.
Yeah, the car in high speed places is unbelievable, difficult to drive.
Verstappen complaining the car's difficult to drive there as well. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, I don't have to hand. I'm getting it up now. The qualifying results from last year. 1:11.3 was the Q3 time.
Double
for,
yellow. Sorry,
7-6.
we've got a double yellow in sector 16, and it says now clear. And I think
That's the swimming pool
Sainz.
chicane.
It's here. It's not Sainz. Did he brush the wall? Has he touched it? Yes, he has. Already, Sainz ain't getting close.
Well,
Yeah,
Well, there goes the microphone.
Oh, that's why the yellow got triggered. Sainz brushing it against the walls. We see a great exit camera out of Anthony Nogues, and Sainz begins to lap his 5th at the moment across that. Look, this is what I mean. This is giving us the speed of Monaco already. The low angles we saw in the early 2000s as well before they all went up high as well. Up Beau Rivage in towards Massenet. And then into Casino Square. Some similar camera angles that we've seen before, but just tighter and more flat out. Russell goes P10, 1:17.405 as well. Track is staying, yeah. For some reason that double yellow was out for 2 seconds before we got the confirmation that it came back in as well. According to our race control monitor up here in the commentary box, Leclerc fastest on home soil, Norris second, Hülkenberg third, Alonso, Hamilton, Stroll, Sainz, Verstappen, Gasly, Piastri top 10, then it's Ocon, Russell, Magnussen, Albon, Tsunoda, Sargent, Zhou, De Vries, Bottas and Perez down in 20th place as well. Fastest 2 times are those who said it on the medium compound of Leclerc and Norris. Sainz was also on mediums, but as you see, he's on a lap time now, beginning to push as he comes through the swimming pool chicane, flicks the car left and right, attacks the power zone as well, coming through the wonderful swimming pool section with a great new angle as well, the cable cam into Raskas, double right as well before Anthony Nogues, right, control the power, squirt towards the wall, and now down the curved start-finish straight, cross the line for Sainz, goes second fastest, 1:16.240 as well. Good lap time open for the Ferrari as they get on the power. So let's talk Aston Martin, third fastest team at the moment. They've now got in a brand new Honda engine deal going in for 2026 as one of the McLarens is slowing the tunnel there of Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri's in it too as Hamilton passes the pair of them. But yeah, Aston Martin, Tom, going with Honda for 2026, assuming Fernando Alonso's still there. He'll be 45 years old. But if I was Honda, would I want to partner with Fernando Alonso after the amount of negative comments he made about the brand in 2015, 16 and 17?
I think they can move past it because if you think about it, I mean, they're still notionally a Formula 1 with Red Bull because, you know, the Red Bull basically being powered by Honda at the moment. It's interesting that it marks a return for Honda, even though we thought Red Bull built an entire new facility to make their engines, but whatever. Williams goes by. There's a lot of Flovis on the back of that legacy livery to Williams. They've just announced a vote for their new Gulf livery for Suzuka Qatar and Singapore, I believe. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a good move for Honda. I think it's great that they're coming back officially now, and I don't see how there'd be a problem with Fernando Alonso. They've taken a few steps forward. They've got 2 more World Championships as a team. That's a different place to where they were when they were with Alonso.
Absolutely, and let's think we're riding with Alonso now on the onboard of the Halo as well. And Josh, is Alonso going to win this weekend in Monaco? He said this is the best chance we've got, and I know she's watching, so hello Megan, watching Fernando Alonso on board. What do you think? Are we going to see anything coming for Fernando? Could he win here in Monaco for the 3rd time?
Well, the answer is yes.
Oh, that's a simple
Simple.
answer. Oh,
Straight to the point. Yes.
yeah, rears are too hot for them. But now we're looking at Lando Norris in this brand new McLaren throwback livery, which I think looks absolutely beautiful. And I want them to keep it for the entire season, because the normal livery of the McLaren looks absolutely terrible. This has got class. It's got a black front nose cone for the McLaren F1 GT car that won Le Mans in 1995. And the back, as I've already explained, is a throwback to the Marlboro McLaren days in the late 80s and early 90s as well. And it looks brilliant, doesn't it, Tom? I want that livery all the time.
It's a tease. It's a tease. I'd rather them go full Marlboro than it looks nice, but I'm not a fan.
A little bit like a O'Ward front wing, a
Yes.
Rosenquist rear, kind of like,
Yeah, so
kind
that,
of like all 3.
that cross between them. Pretend in the pits with news.
Elkan with the white shirt, the white trousers, and the what looks like a sort of toweling robe around his shoulders. It's actually a Ferrari jumper, Natalie, but it's made of what looks like sort of somewhat absorbent material. But he'll have to be, he's absorbing everything he can about who to hire in Formula One. If that's not Lewis Hamilton, it's anybody who can contribute to the success of Ferrari. But John Elkann, the president of Ferrari, and is just keeping an eye on everything down here. Charles Leclerc has been into the garage, or rather just into the pit box, to make a quick front wing flap adjust. Just wanted a little bit more or less downforce. I couldn't see whether they raised the front wing flap or lowered it. Sergio Perez has also been into the pits, and now George Russell I can just see getting wheeled back into the garage to make some changes as well. But yeah, a lot of action down here, a lot of focus on Ferrari. But Natalie, isn't it great to see the cars on track again?
Oh,
Team Radio?
It's a rear, just not to make a mess
Oh,
of
there's traffic!
Yeah, understood, Max. Okay. So currently 3rd, 15.7, Alonso 15.6.
it. Yeah, I know, but that's irrelevant. We have to sort our race.
Okay, Tsunoda 2 seconds. Yes, understood, Max. It was just information. We can't sort that from here, obviously.
I'm waiting to see if...
Yeah, and there's tons of traffic now coming in as well in the last couple of corners. We've got Sainz, Bottas, Verstappen, De Vries all getting held up, coming to Anthony Nogues as well. Does not look very nice at all. Albon Sainz, and there's Verstappen, Perez in there too, and it's all getting a little bit mistake. You can't stop in that last corner at all, Tom. It's just causing problems with the amount of traffic we've got on the circuit.
There are a few people going maybe a little bit slower than they have to, but at the end of the day, you've got to find a place to be slow here and cool down your tyres, and there isn't many places to do it. Alonso's gone 3rd, by the way, on hard tyres, 15.3 faster than Verstappen. We did expect Red Bull to struggle here, didn't we, as Verstappen gets past Sergio Perez. Oh no, sorry, Sergio Perez gets past Verstappen. Yeah, he does. It's the yellow decam.
I'd love to tell you, but if you're watching our YouTube stream and not listening to the radio, the driver tracker this weekend, it's good, but I wish you could minimise the height of the drivers' names, because it is just a blur on my timing screen right now. And I wish we could just take the names down a little bit, because it's just an absolute mess right there on the screen at the moment. But the session is going here in Monaco as it comes in. Who was there front of Perez? I think it was Sainz, Tsunoda, Bottas who just got through as well, because he's chasing down Albon now. As he comes into Rascasse is Sergio Perez. Gets a good exit out of the last corner and boots it hard. I was just asking Megan as well, is he, but nothing she said about as she printed out the notes. Interesting info about Fernando Alonso, actually, as you mentioned, Tom, he's gone 3rd fastest on the hard tyres. Alonso won here in 2006 and 2007 and is the only F1 driver in history to win this event in successive years with different teams. as well. He's had 2 further podiums here with Ferrari in 2011 and 2012. He's retired here 4 times, but now he's looking good. He was 7th last year, but coincidentally as well, Tom, he's 2 poles here, came in 06 and 07. His 2 wins here came in 06 and 07. He won from pole in both of those, as we have from Lando.
Lap time.
Just a lot of inside front under rotations. Struggling in general with rear grip, and the biggest thing is compliance from the front end. Even from the rear is a struggle.
So Lando's not entirely happy with what he's hearing out there on the track. I'm not surprised actually as well, considering the difficulties he's been in with that car over this season. Got on. What?
Look at the traffic.
Oh, yeah,
Alonso's just had his lap ruined by up through Casino.
Is one of them Stroll, his own teammate? Yes, it is. Look, he even looked over. Oh, this is beyond bad now. This is getting to the point where race control are going to have to say, look, you're going to have to get a bit calm out there, guys. It's only practice 1. And
Where else are Stroll and the Haas supposed to go? Is my question. I mean, they've got to warm up their tyres. They can't boot it into the wall. So, you know, it's just unlucky. It's a difficult circuit, and there's 20 cars around it. I mean, I don't think there's much race control can do.
Lando Norris brushing the wall through the swimming pool section as well. Let's check in with Omi. We haven't heard from him just yet down there in the pits as well. Hello, Omi. What do you think about Monaco? You looking forward to this weekend?
Yep, I absolutely am. I'm really excited for this, and hopefully we're going to be getting a lot of action this weekend. But Monaco usually isn't for Formula 1, but let's see what Formula 2, Formula 3 and the Porsche Super Cup can do as well. But this is going to be great, and loving the new camera angles we're getting as well around this great racetrack.
Are you predicting... Oh, hang on.
I made a monthly box. I'm going to shut like this with the car set up like this.
Okay, Anderson,
Okay,
you
so
can
Max
box.
not happy with
Max really frustrated with that car as though he's coming to the pits. Carry on, Omi, as well. Are you looking forward to seeing all the upgrades as Sainz goes fastest, 1:14.4101? Are you looking forward to seeing the upgrades and possibility of wet weather coming into this one?
Yeah, I'm hoping that wet weather does get involved at some point in this, but yeah, a lot of upgrades. So it's always interesting to see what is going to happen. Will the Mercedes upgrades work out? Will they not? Will they be able to return to the top, or will they basically stay where they are? And all the other teams also bringing upgrades. So it's really an interesting, weekend here with a lot of different upgrades for a lot of different teams. So I'm really looking forward to this, and there's always going to be a question mark with how have teams taken a step forward, or have they taken a step backwards?
Absolutely, we're looking forward to that. Mercedes is going to be the one saying a step forward or backwards. Max Verstappen is just getting out of the car. Alonso goes back to third, 1:14.650. Verstappen now just going to get out of his car. He's not happy with that setup. 18 minutes have gone in this opening practice session for the 2023 Monaco Grand Prix here on Friday. Sainz is fastest, Leclerc second, Alonso's third, Verstappen fourth, and Stroll rounds out your top 5. Now we're watching the Williams once again, just with Alexander Albon having a few little incidents out on the circuit as well, keeping it together. As just touching the wall at the exit. And across the line for Alex Albon in the Williams, and goes 12th fastest, 1:16.031 across the board. Sonoda beats that, 1:15.662. I don't suppose you two, Josh and Tom as well, have you seen that the Red Bull floater home hasn't actually got any water in it this year? It's got balls in it. White balls, plastic white balls, because of the drought that we have in this Monaco region as well, where you cannot fill up your pools anymore, despite the fact that we've got a sea just next to it. So that's quite funny. But yeah, just thought no more. So does that mean that Red Bull aren't going to win this weekend by some miracle?
I thought the swimming pool was gone anyway, the one that they jumped into. I thought it was long gone.
No, it's still here. We saw it last year as well. They fell into it and everything. And Perez did all of it with it, and Stroll touched the wall, as I said, exit the last corner.
in the DB12.
Touch the wall.
Touch the wall.
Yeah, I wish Natalie would stop talking over. It's a big old whack, wasn't it, Tom, as well, for Stroll. Properly whack Anthony nose on the nose.
Hilarious.
Thank you.
On board with one of the Alpines, on board with Pierre Gasly, actually, up into turn 1, 30 minutes to go. 40 minutes to go in this session. 50-50 chance. He's on hard tyres at the moment. Sits down in 17th position, 25.3, so not getting a representative lap time in yet.
Properly attacking now, hasn't he?
Got a shot of one of the marshals. Jim, the marshals here are actually spectacular. Have you heard that they've got the scuba squad as well that go and dive into the river in case into the sea, I should say, any of the cars go over the barrier.
Yeah, I do actually. And, the frogman standing by. That happened with Alberto Ascari in the 1950s. He crashed at the Nivelle chicane, and at that point it was a very fast right-left. And he crashed, and the car went straight into the water, and they had to dive in to get him. No seatbelts there.
On Matt Amos's video about the scuba divers, I think he said they still hire scuba divers, but they're not actually for cars falling into the river, into the ocean, into the harbour. It's something to do with like fire and just general rescue, I think.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, well, they can deal with cars falling into the river.
they can.
I think that was their initial purpose.
Yeah.
But it obviously has become near impossible now.
Yeah, especially in this day and age as well, because the catch fencing, as well as you say, is all around there and everything. So, fingers crossed. I haven't heard from Megan actually, and I wanted to, because I don't know if she's actually got what I said about the notes. So that could be pretty alarming. Coming shortly as well, if Megan hasn't got any commentary notes. We have lost TV pictures because Sky have gone to an ad break, so we flicked on to our battle screen up here with Sargent in 20th position, and that leads on to a question to Dio Nat saying, do you think Sargent will have a seat in 2024? I'll start with you, Tom. Is he going to have a seat, or is he going to get bye-byed?
It's a tired debate, I'm going to be honest with you, because he's 7 rounds into his Formula 1 career. You can't tell whether he's going to have a good career or not at this point. So, Williams, this is the problem with it is that we can't see whether he's underperforming or overperforming in that car. And Williams, the only team that know that with all of their data. I think he's been fine for now, and I don't think it's worth putting unnecessary pressure on young drivers.
Josh, what do you think?
Keep him for the 2024 season, review at the end of the 2024 season.
That's a good gamble. That's a mighty good gamble. Oh, right, Fossil says, hello, gentlemen, JB. Oh, right, he says, rain yesterday in F3 had 3 into the wall today, bumpering the track for quals. F2 is after this. Yep, we're following F2 qualifying. Also the Porsche Super Cup this year as well. We are commentating on. Sainz just having some lap times as well, by the way. So they fly through. Adam says, I remember that McLaren scheme you're talking about, Josh. The days of Senna, Prost and Gerhard Berger. Absolutely, and it's fantastic. And then even Hakkinen, and Hakkinen had it, so did Coulthard for a year in 1996. So we've only had one yellow out the track, and that was sort of a false yellow, but it did bring out a double yellow flag, and it leads me to something I wanted to talk about actually while we're on the ad break from Sky, is that there's a new rule been put in place across all FIA categories from this weekend on, including of course Formula 1 and Formula 2, Formula 3, Porsches, everything. It involves if a double yellow flag is brought out, the drivers must immediately go down to a speed limit through the double yellow flag zone that will be set on the wet time of the safety car lap. So the safety car delta for a wet lap will now be in place for a double yellow flag. Tom, starting with you, is it a good idea to put speed limits in place for double yellow flags? Or is it going to create more harm than good with drivers slowing down a bit too much and some going faster than others? Is it more hazard in a danger area?
I think it's about fair enough, to be honest with you, because it just makes sense. People will always push the limits. If you have a hard limit, then people can't go over it.
Josh, are you looking forward to seeing it in action?
Tom.
Yeah, you're looking forward to seeing it in action because we nearly did see it in action in Formula 3 yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We had a couple of drivers in the wall in F3 yesterday as we returned. With TV Pictures currently out on track, Albon, Perez, Ocon, Norris, Sargent and Gasly. Here's a moment for Valtteri Bottas.
Oh, this is him on the radio.
That's pretty close. Yep, copy, we saw.
That was him coming out the last sector
Perez?
as well. Yeah, I think it was Perez on the onboard as well, just having a few little moments there. Just look beautiful orange dot running around that circuit. Yeah, that's Piastri and Norris as well, but it needs to get a little bit better in terms of that. Mercedes down there, that's Red Bull's pits. Are we going to hear from Ted? No, that's going to be Anthony Davidson, I think we're hearing from there. As we look at Sargent running around the circuit on a new outlap, getting out past one of the Alpines of Esteban Ocon coming into Rascasse in the swimming pool chicane area. So everyone down, just calming it down here in Monte Carlo. Just hearing the bam, bam, bam on the side of the track there as well as they fly through. What a great new idea, by the way, sent in to us for the battle screen for this weekend as well, which I think is quite a good idea. As they come through, Perez, 1:15, 1:04 on the screen at the moment. As they fly through, several cars come into the pit lane into the first 27 minutes of this session. Sainz, it's getting very warm in this commentary box. I don't know what it is. I think it must be the LED light getting on. I think it is actually getting quite warm. Just put my hand to it. It's getting quite hot. I might have to turn the heater on for a fan setting. Oh.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Oh.
Oh no, weird sound. No drive.
Keep pushing with it. Copy. Stand by, leave the radio off.
Well, this isn't good news for Logan. Go on, Josh.
I thought I heard something wrong with Sargent's car.
So he's stopping. Is he back in the pit lane? Yes, he is.
Yes.
Well, that's an old message that we've just heard then on our side, up here in the comms box. I'm surprised actually, because I thought they might change that back, but it's not. So we're just getting our graphics set up here in the commentary box. So we're under the green flag conditions at the moment. Just checking for sure that everything's set up on our screens this time around, because we forgot to move the flags. Moved everything else, but we forgot to move the flags. James Vowles, the Williams team principal, is talking now with Natalie Pinkham.
Good question. We're still looking over the car now. What I can tell you is it just looked like there was a lot of, on the wheel speed sensor, certainly at the rear, a lot more movement than we would have expected. So he felt movement in the car, brought the car back in again. So it could be diff, it could be something else, but need to now take all of that apart and have a quick look at it. Unsure, I'm afraid, this quickly after the incident.
I mean, frustrating for you guys. Just 1 point so far this year for the team. Does it feel like that's reflective of where you're going there? It feels like progress is being made. What's the feeling within the team?
I think you summed it up well. The position of the championship doesn't really reflect, I think, the hard work that's gone into the car. But it is a fair reflection of exactly what we scored. In Melbourne, there was an opportunity for a good chunk of points, and there has probably been one other chance of points as well. The fact, though, is that we've been there or thereabouts in the hunt for a point. You've got 4 very quick teams in front, sometimes 5 very quick teams, so there's a point or 2 available for pretty much everyone else. What I'm pleased about is we've been there or thereabouts pretty much at every race so far this year.
James, it's Ant here. This is a very different circuit, of course, to the tracks you just mentioned. What's the feeling within the team, even before coming here, for your chances on that different circuit running the car at max downforce?
Yeah, I think, just to give you a flavour of how different this track is. So we look at the lap times now, you're doing 1 minute 14s, but we'll be doing 12s come FP2 and then take another few seconds off again. The track evolves. Every time you come back round again on a fast lap, I think it's fair to say the grip's changed ever so slightly, and that's unusual. You don't get that to another level at any other circuit. The other aspect is this requires a completely different front suspension, really, to a certain extent, just to get yourself around one corner. And the rear wings that cars are running here is nothing that we would have run so far this year. You need your maximum downforce on the car. The brakes suffer here more than anywhere else, just because you don't get the airspeed through the brakes to cool them down. So that's just 3 or 4 items that make this track unique from an engineering challenge. And then you throw in the fact that for a driver, there really isn't anything like that. I know we've had Saudi so far, Miami to San Baku, street circuits, but this is just completely different to those. One tiny mistake in any one of the corners will result pretty much in a DNF straight away.
James, Naomi here. I wanted to ask you a question about, just how well this car performs in low downforce scenarios. I mean, if that car gets so slippery and all of a sudden there's immense pace that comes out of it. What are you guys working on at the moment to get that car to be reliable in both sorts of conditions, not just low downforce, but tracks like this as well?
Good question. I think it's fair to say, definitely, as you pointed out, when we have good straight line content within the track, we'll be quick. So Canada coming up, for example, I think would suit us quite well. There's continuous work in the wind tunnel trying to optimize the car around a downforce level. And so fundamentally, I think where we are is a slightly different window to other people. But the good news is it's actually a lot easier adding vertical load, adding downforce, than it is taking drag off. Once you got the drag on, it's very difficult to evolve away from it. So the direction we're taking in the wind tunnel is to evolve a little bit more towards a more downforce driven car, so effectively an efficiency change. That will take time. It's not something you do overnight. That's months of evolution. But more importantly, once you're there, I think it's going to be an easier transition than for those, say, trying to remove the drag off their car.
Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate your input today, and good luck for the rest of the session and indeed the weekend.
Yeah, thank you all.
James Vowles there, the team principal of Williams, as we're riding with Oscar Piastri coming through Mirabeau and down to the Lowe's hairpin, or the Grand Hotel hairpin, or the Fairmont hairpin, whatever you want to call it, as well, with 21 minutes to go of this opening session. Andrea Stella there, the team principal at McLaren, watching on. Tom, are McLaren going to do well this weekend as well? Just saw a graphic come up saying 15 victories in Monaco. They're the most successful team here. Could McLaren produce a surprise, as we just hear from Max? Any feedback on that change, okay, Max? Yeah, it's a little bit better, but on the rear, but
no, the van's really not good. Okay, understood. You may have to live with it for this session, as we discussed.
Yeah, it's a little bit better on the rear, but it's still doing all the same splits as well from the previous setup, so it's not looking good. But so yeah, Tom, could McLaren do well here this weekend as well with their special Triple Crown livery?
I don't know. I don't think it's a good start when Norris is complaining about the cars so early on. I don't think it's a good start for Verstappen either. I think it's going to be very difficult for them. If they can get the setup right, then there's no reason we can't see that car's full potential. But McLaren just don't seem to be going forward nor backwards at the moment. I think it's really frustrating if you are a supporter of that team, because you just don't know what you're going to get with McLaren at the moment.
No, you don't. It's a different every single weekend we come here as Fernando Alonso exits the last corner of Anthony Noakes as well, a two-time pole sitter, two-time winner here in 06 and 07. Cross the line for Alonso, and it goes fourth with a 1:14.403, sorry, across the line. So, Hamilton is currently the fastest, a 1:14.035. He's done that by 0.2 of a second as well. So the question, Josh, comes in with this: could Mercedes take a win this weekend? As unlikely as you see Andy Stevenson, the sport director of Aston Martin, there on the pit wall, now darts back in as well to the wall. Could we see Mercedes take an unlikely win, or is it too early to tell with Hamilton?
It's possible. Anything's possible at Monaco. We've seen, especially if it's a wet race, but if it's a wet race, I think Alonso is going to excel.
Albon across the line. There's somebody coming out of the pit lane, so they've been giving it. It looks to be Zhou. Albon now accelerates up Beau Rivage in towards Massenet. We'll do a quick 1 to 10 for you as we hear from Russell.
I can't really give a tyres working. The confidence. Like I'm losing the rear, exit of 3 and through 4. The thing's just sliding.
It feels like the front's too strong.
No, it feels like the rear's too weak.
Yeah,
Rear too weak then on the Mercedes. I wonder how Anthony's deciding that as well, Tom, because Ant is their development driver. Instant Involving Sargent has been noted released in an unsafe condition. Oh, so I wonder what the problem there is. So Race Control have noticed that now as well. So yeah, what do you reckon then of this upgrade? Is it more to suit? Because with Russell is the only one to win in that car without a side pod. He was Mr. Consistent. He was getting used to the car, getting the best out of it. Hamilton wasn't. Mercedes are now changed because Hamilton wanted and demanded the change. But is this now going to benefit Hamilton more than Russell? Is it not a true team now? Is it going to? Are they just pandering to Lewis's and not listening to George's needs as well?
It's possible, but then it's not possible at the same time. It's kind of in the middle. It could be happening, it couldn't be happening. I don't know, but Charles Leclerc are getting working on the brakes and suspension area of the car on the front and on the rear, so they're changing something.
Yeah, go on, Tom.
I don't know. I don't think they're favouring Lewis. I think what's happened is that they're playing catch up because they've had so many problems throughout the course of the last year.
We've got a yellow flag and a
Track
double
sector
yellow.
13.
Yeah, so where's this gone? It's down at the chicane. Yeah, there it is. It's a Haas with a puncture.
Oh.
So that is, I believe,
Magnussen.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg.
No, it's Hulkenberg. It's Hulkenberg. So I think he's hit the barrier, you know, on the entrance to the Newell chicane, and it's popped the rear tyre off the rim. So is this going to be? Well, it's said no. Yeah, don't put the greens in. Put the yellows out still, because we've got debris, carbon fibre flying across the track, and one little shard can cut the tyre. We've got a slow-moving car with Russell, Albon, Zhou, Magnussen, De Vries, Tsunoda, Piastri all coming towards us. The white flags are out there to warn them, but I reckon Magnussen's just touched the wall there, and that's what's brought out the yellows. Surprised they haven't actually stopped it as well. Clear in sector 13. Now we've got all the cars coming by. Hamilton there too. Hopefully they let him into the pit lane. Let's hope that rubber doesn't fly off the circuit. Well, he's got very lucky. Into the pit lane now. Carlos Hulkenberg. He's kept the wheel on the wagon and he's kept the floor together, but I can only presume at that point Tom is turned in, clipped the rear right, and it's just spun him round.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to get a replay of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened, although it's rear left, is it not?
Yes.
So, yes.
Right,
I know what you mean. I don't think that barrier, here we go. This might be exactly what you're on about, as we see. Nice time.
Have we gone red?
Red flag. That's a surprise. Oh, hello. Did he hit the wall? Or was it a puncture?
He took too much curve.
Now I know what you're referencing there.
Yeah.
With the barrier in the Formula 1 game sticks out quite far there, doesn't it? So you can quite often see esports drivers hitting that. It doesn't stick out as far in real life as it does in the game, so it's not as much of a concern. So it looks like he's just lost it on throttle application and gone into the wall. Still unusual for the tyre to delaminate like that from that sort of hit, though.
There is a little bit of a crack on the wheel itself. So
just to lift the rear ride height up a bit, just to counter the complaints that Max had about that car. He's been out on the medium tyre ever since, putting in some laps, but we haven't heard anything further. Now he's back in the garage. I'll see if they make any more changes.
Red flag is out then to recover the debris down there, the little bits of carbon fibre, which is very, very sharp. I'm just having a look at it again on the replay of the T feed. I think he on the exit, as soon as he hit the throttle, the car looped round at him and it was a puncture, but I'm not sure because I need to see that angle again. I need to see the offboard to see did he touch it.
When he came into the entrance of the corner, so I think he did hit the inside wall.
Must have clipped the rear. Oh well, we're not going to hear from them as they've gone to an ad break. Cars coming in. The red flag is out. The session is suspended. I want to take a look on the on that onboard again. I want to see that accident. Yeah, but he hit the barrier. Williams have said Williams said he hit the barrier. That's not Haas, so Williams say he did that. I want to get another replay. Nico pits after damage his left rear after making contact with the barriers in the shed. So yeah, he's clipped it. He's clipped the barrier coming in, and it's looped around on him when he went to the opposite direction. Red flag is in, by the way. Track is clear, so we're going to get this restarted, presumably in the next 2 minutes, as Alonso was just flying in. We're on board, as he's already in the pit lane. Let's take an on board, shall we, as well, and go over and take a look at the on board for Hamilton at the moment. Is he already back in the pit lane? I think he is. Yes, he is. And they've taken that data off as well at the moment. Multi-screen seems to be the best option at the moment to keep across of all the data. As the track falls silent, as Alonso, the last one to come in. So it is Hamilton, Alonso, Sainz, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Albon, Perez, Tsunoda, Bottas, top 10. Then we get Piastri, Stroll, De Vries, Russell, Magnussen, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Zhou, and Sargent, the 20, running. And Perez and Bottas and Ocon aren't yet in the... Oh, we've gone green, that's why. Green flag, sessions go. So it was a very quick red flag. They've restarted it with 20 minutes to go of the session. So the cars now lead back once again out onto the circuit. Ocon, Bottas, Perez, Gasly. The 4 cars heading straight out there at this moment in time. Sainz coming out too as well. Just having confirmation on the replay. Here it is again, lap recap. And this is Hamilton so far, flying out here on the circuit. Hamilton with side pods as well. We understand that the side pods are also hollow, so it's just literally an aerodynamic gain, not what we saw previously. They haven't changed that much across it. But yeah, I think you're right, Tom, with the budget cap, they've basically just copied the Red Bull, haven't they? To sort of go like a Hail Mary and say that's it, all going to go there.
Yeah, there was a really good race video about it actually on YouTube in the week about how Mercedes is trying to claw back performance, because basically what that video summarised was, it's really tough. They've gone for the wrong gamble, and they're now playing catch up, as I mentioned earlier. So it's an interesting one for them. A second question, Josh, because I've got you. With the IndyCar Carb Day, what's the plan for that? We're on practice, aren't we? Are we?
Oh, IndyCar Radio's taking it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And then we're hopping back on in the last half hour. So as soon as we're on a very quick off for practice 2. Literally, as soon as the last car's crossed the line, everyone's done it. We go off here for Formula 1's practice 2, and then we take over for the last half an hour of Carb Day. But the first.
Now, my question, rather than IndyCar Radio, would it be wise to put the USRN coverage on? You know, keep it in the family.
We do USRN commentary. Why are you on it? Are you on USRN?
I thought Matthew was on it. Okay, never mind. I saw it on the USRN thing.
Oh, is Matthew doing it? Oh, if so, I'll throw it on.
I don't know.
Oh, if so.
I saw it on USRN. I don't know whether Matthew's doing it or not, or whether you're putting your stuff
Well, I
on.
can't because it's not in the ComBox setting. So.
Okay. Well, I would assume then Matthew's doing it.
Yeah.
I assume.
Unless he thinks I'm doing it and he set it up because I don't know. Oh. Matthew! Hello, Matthew. You're here. Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew's here. Hello, Matthew.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Devil.
Yeah, Matthew. What's going on with Carb Day? Are you covering it? Because if so, I can put the instead of the radio, I can put you guys on because it's practice 2 for us. So the YouTube stream was literally just going to be the IndyCar Radio. But if you're doing it, Matthew, then we'll put you on, of course, for Carb Day. And then the last half hour is when me, Josh, and I don't know who else is around, Tom. I don't know if you're around, Tom, or here. Omie's in there too. But
I might be.
Yeah, we'll swing by for the last half an hour of the session and we'll take over. You can join us if you like, but yeah, let us know what you're doing, Matthew, and what the plan is, because Tom says he's found it on USRN. So give us a text or something, or hop in the Discord and give us an information about what you want to do. Although you might be at work, that could also be a factor. So. 16
I would suspect. Sorry, Josh. I would suspect Matthew to book off IndyCar weekend. Indy weekend
yes.
from work.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, he might do. Get it all sorted. I know Matthew's going to start Sunday morning with a nice glass of milk. Me and Megan end the day with a nice glass of milk. Although we've been told that we're going to have that pint of milk again. You know, the little cartons that we have between us, and then we've got to go in and have brownies and ice cream. So we're going to be on dairy overload during the night as well, but at least we'll sleep well, I suppose. Alonso flying through 64 thousandths of a second, and Alonso is up in the middle sector by 2.5 tenths. Well, if Megan gets back and I say, guess who's topped the session? Fernando Alonso. I think she might have a literal heart attack, especially after her exams earlier on in the day. Haven't you got any exams, Tom?
I had mocks.
Right.
Thankfully, got them out of the way early. So yeah, I had them. They're not fun. They're not fun.
No, they're not. No. Megan's doing her. I think it was law, criminology, and psychology. She's been up to as well.
I take A-level law. Yeah, a lot of content. It's not nice.
I think law was today actually. I'm 90% certain on that.
Yeah, it's actually more content based than something like maths.
Yeah.
It's like, except the difference is it's written. I mean, you have to learn well over 100 different cases.
Oh my
and the joke of it is, it's not even really particularly relevant to actual UK law. So, you know, universities don't even really care if you've got a law A-level, which would have been nice to know before I took it.
Megan is not happy with the amount she's having to learn. She's got more notes than me in the comment. She's created more notes than I have for the. I've created. What you know, it's about 41 pages I've got of notes this weekend as well. Up in the commentary box.
You know, I'm pretty sure I got to commentate on my college beating your college at your local college at Rocket League the other day.
Oh, Franklin. Yeah, you might actually. Yeah. Actually,
what?
Franklin
I
College
don't,
was
probably.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. We were just Grimsby College.
Grimsby Institute. Grimsby Institute. Yeah, Grimsby College. Yeah. That would be the other one. There's two. Yeah, that'd be that one.
Oh right, there's two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We beat the other one.
Oh right. Yeah. I thought they do have an IT block there. I know. I've been past it as well. I'm looking at all their graphics and that lot.
I say we. I mean the team and I.
Yes.
The commentary, but what?
It's all right. They never realised actually the Grimsby Institute as well. They had lanyards which stopped you getting into other parts of the. As by the way, Alonso did a 1:13.907, the fastest time of the day so far, as Verstappen battles Hamilton into the back and then holds him up, and Hamilton tries to get back through, and Verstappen doesn't like that. That's a new little angle that we're going to see throughout the weekend. Hopefully, there's a battle going on there between them two, with Alonso in the fight. But yeah. My lanyards and everybody else's in the media department, as we've got a yellow flag sector 2. So something's gone wrong there. Who is it? It's Magnussen and Sander Vogt. As we go green again. So Magnussen's gone off at Sander Vogt as he's going to spoil Verstappen's lap time, presumably. Yeah, just a little bit as he goes green again. He's already up the track. So yeah, because for us media lots, who at the institute as well, the university, those of you who's media, the equipment was literally at the other side of the campus. So we had to walk for around about what was 10 minutes there and back lugging equipment. So to make it easier, they unlocked our lanyards, which means that we could get into all the areas of the building. So it was the media department and the teachers, or the tutors, whatever, who had access to every single part of the college and the university area as well, because it was 2 in 1. So I thought that was quite fun, to see Magnussen just getting a bit of a lock-up down at turn 1, and Sander Vogt looping it back around, and away he goes. Named Sander Vogt because of the church of Sander Vogt that's located just at the end there. So yeah, long story short, I had access to every part of the college, which means I just did some walks, although I got lost once.
Wait.
That's it, I got lost.
Nothing quite beat being bored on a lunch break and just walking around trying to see where you can go that you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I got everywhere. It was quite fun, but I got lost because it's really weird. Because at one of the areas of the university, which is now the college block, because it got separated, there's an entrance that it enters you on the first floor, but then the stairs you go down as well to the ground floor where there's another exit, but it's locked. So I spent literally around about 45 minutes going up each segment of stairs, getting confused because it said I was on the ground floor, then the first floor, but you can't get out the ground floor, but then you can't get out the first floor. I spent about 30 minutes going up and down three flights of corridors because I couldn't find the way out. It confused the hell out of me as well. I felt like I was in that episode of Doctor Who with the what do we call it? The one in the hotel with everything got changed around, that layout, the God Complex one. I felt like I was in that. I couldn't work my way out. Oh, Megan said, yeah, just done it. It didn't do A3 for some reason. Oh, that's a shame. Damn.
Didn't do what?
Matthew sent me the Indy 500 commentary notes. I was going to print out an A3 and it didn't print out an A3. Ah, nuts.
I get away with printing off commentary notes all the time at my college. I don't even have to. I don't even have to. Oh dear, Verstappen off of the piscine, and he's shaking his head furiously.
He was not happy with that, is he? Just a small mistake, and he's boxed it as well. Oh no, he's getting out of the way of Pierre Gasly.
Do you know how you remember what piscine is? What piscine means in French?
No idea. Picture.
No piscine in the piscine.
Oh really? So it's literally that.
That's what we used to get told in our French lessons. No piscine in the piscine.
Okay. French class is quite funny. Matthew says, I will get it figured out. Thanks, guys. Getting set to call the 500 on Sunday from France. That'll be new. What? Matthew's going to be... What? What?
Matthew's going to be... Matthew's going to be near our time zone? What?
I thought it would be in America.
Into the second.
Oh, he nearly touched the barrier. That's why he twitched out. He turned in and he's almost going to hit the barrier. Watch. Look, gets a rear slide and just cuts across the chicane. So, Matthew's going to be in France? You're going to be commentating in France? What? Is that because... What? I'm confused now. Is it Monaco?
With the concept of a holiday.
I know. What? Yeah. But what? You've got to come to the UK. We've got to
go to France.
Yeah. I'm generally confused now as well. Okay. Apparently Matthew's going to be in France this weekend. I presume that means that, yes, wheels up to France tomorrow for work with Roland Garros Radio. Oh, wow.
That's actually cool. That is cool.
However, Matthew, if you need any assistance on the 500 with your call, if it all goes pear-shaped, just let us know. We'll take over. We'll drag you in the Discord call if you're famous. Go on.
You know, Matthew, I'll say this hit rather than a Twitter DM, but it's very nice that you're getting chances like that because you are a fantastic commentator. So it's nice to see you get some real work, with on a big stage because US Open is great, but obviously it's no being at these events and calling them live. So very well done.
I agree. Well done, Matthew. And also hop over get the train and come over to the UK. And get to the Grimsby area, get in the commentary box, and we'll share the commentary box for a race. Where are we next weekend? Spain? Although IndyCar's at Detroit, so might be a bit problematic there, I suppose.
I'm convinced we need to get Matthew down to Villa Park.
That'd be fun.
That's my goal for the future.
Alonso's had a little bit of a hold up with one of the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, these guys are incredible. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, you did your best there, and he didn't help back. Copy that.
Yeah, I don't care. I will be on the racing line, all the slow laps.
Yeah, copy that. It was Perez.
No, it wasn't.
Oh dear.
That wasn't Perez, it was an Alfa Romeo. Believe me, I could see the rear wing. Oh, nice.
Perez is completely the other side of the track. Perez is with Stroll, not Alonso.
Yeah, and look where Bottas was further back, so that's how much his place is made up. It was an Alfa Romeo, 100%. It was definitely not anyone there. Ted's in the pits.
The Floviz paint on the side pod as they continue their understanding of these little upgrades that have come to the car. So it's not meant to look that green that you saw of it. It's actually meant to look a third of the Indy car of Johnny Rutherford when he won the Indy 500 in 1974, a third of McLaren's first Monaco win with Alain Prost in 1984 in the middle, and a third of the Le Mans win in 1995 at the front with the McLaren F1, of course. So that's why it's the livery it is. But it looks good-ish. It's sort of a...
You're not very convincing, Ted.
I mean, it looks like it would be when you throw three separate liveries at a car.
A smorgasbord of victories.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But tell you what does look fantastic is the TV coverage, of course. I've got to say again, just watching it on the monitors that I can see down here, I hope you're enjoying it at home as much as we are, looking at these images as well, because this is, the first time the F1 TV has been the host broadcaster here for a very long time, taking over from Telly Monte Carlo, and it just looks fantastic. First time they've had a helicopter here, giving us the heli images.
Stunning shots.
As well. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Looks brilliant, doesn't it?
I mean, it helps that the sun is shining as well, of course, and it helps that we're in Monaco, because it always looks good in Monaco.
Leclerc's locked up as well. So Leclerc passing Ocon, but locks up into the chicane area. As that's where you hear Natalie sort of breathe in a bit of a nervousness tendency as the Ferrari botting out. But honestly, I must echo what Ted said, and he nearly did it again. Coming through the chicane as well, and just gets a twitch and loses the rear. Well, Leclerc was pushing like crazy, but no, it was nearly into another I am stupid moment, like in Monaco 2021, Tom. It was just so much into the wall there.
It was, and 5 minutes to go, sorry, in the first practice session. I don't think there is much greater joy than watching Formula 1 cars at Monaco in any capacity. Watching what happened to Charles Leclerc, by the way, all over the curb into the chicane. That's what happened. Yeah. He's unsettled the car by going onto that curb on the right-hand side as he goes down into the Nouvelle chicane, and it's just caused him to luck up. And he was quite lucky actually to be able to make the corner. Then again into the swimming pool. He's got a massive twitch, but he's okay. Yeah, I think the greatest joys in motorsport: V8 supercars at Bathurst, cars at Le Mans at night. You've got to put Monaco in there and the Indy 500.
I don't like that fake advertising that they've got there on the side of the screens there. That needs to go. The little fake CGI stuff as well. But yellow flag's out, Josh. Sector 2. Is that Sander Vott again?
Yeah, and the driver down there is...
Oh, it's Albon!
Whoa.
And it's a red flag because Albon has hit the wall and broken off the rear left suspension and the front left, and that brings an end to practice 1 here in Monaco.
That'll be a Q2 doubt as well, I guarantee.
Wow, so he's done the chassis as well, the gearbox. That's a back of the grid start looking already there for Albon. Unless it's a Friday gearbox, which might save him. I'm okay. So he's gone into the wall. And look, he's caught the exit. He's caught the exit at the barrier at Sander Vott. So that's tipped it. So he's probably oversteered into the wall. Rear left hit it, and that's ricocheted him into the front, and it's done the front suspension at the same time and he's drifted uphill. So I think he's oversteered into one, hit the rear, and that's pirouetted him into the wall on the front left. We'll wait to see the TV angles.
Medical card out there with him.
Yeah. Session will not be resumed. It's a shame. Go on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Has there been a crash?
Yes, Omi. It's
I just ran back.
It's Alexander Albon. He's stopped on the track. Crashed at 1. Great little shot there, Josh, of race control. We never get to see that, did there? That looked great. Is it? Oh, here we go. So, car coming out of the pit lane. That's one of the AlphaTauris. Turns in. Exactly as I said. Loses the rear, clips the wall, and then straight in with the front end.
Yeah, just banged my knees, my friend.
Oh.
Yes.
Never like banging the wheels there.
You know what? Do you know what? Banging your knees in a go-kart is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I know these aren't go-karts, obviously, far removed, but you get off and... You know, if you're going through a corner and your knees sort of banging against the fuel tank, or you crash and your knees are banged, you get home and the bruising is just horrendous.
I'll tell you one thing as well. I had a nasty accident here a couple of years ago. Not in Monaco, but in go-karting. We went go-karting. It was in the rain in October at a go-kart track, and it was slick tyres, and it was torrential rain. But we went out. And it was quite fun
because to end well.
Yeah,
my favourite conditions are wets and slicks. Obviously, I did it when I was in Surrey for a commentary the other week. We were at the track, and I went out on the circuit in the morning for our race, and it was torrential rain. It was in a 2-stroke kart, so you're looking at about 50, 60 mile an hour.
Same as us.
A kart capable of 60 mile an hour anyway. I don't think you can get up to that in the wet. But going down into turn 1 at probably about 52 mile an hour, having to brake on slicks.
Yeah.
It's my favourite condition because they handle the rain with slicks very, very well.
They do,
Rental.
Although I do agree with you because we left the pit lane. By the way, it was torrential. It was the worst rain we've probably ever had, and the track was flooded. But we went out there, left the pit lane, and went down to turn 1. I was warned, just don't touch the brakes completely, otherwise you're just gonna if you properly press down the brakes, you're just going to lock up an aquaplane off. So you're going down, and you're at some speed as well coming out of the pit lane. And I lightly touch the brakes, and nothing's happening. And the barrier's getting closer and closer and closer. I just sort of use the wheels carefully, and I just get around the corner. But it is such a horrible track. And then it was still wet, but I got up to speed. I got into it a little bit as well. There was a few spins, obviously, for everyone, but that's going to be the case. But I was loving it. Wet conditions, slick tyres, go-karts as well, flying through. It was brilliant. So I was really getting into the hang of it, slinging it around everywhere. And there's a hill. There's a hill, and it's blind. So I come up the hill, over the really nasty bump, which really gives you a kick up the backside. And as I came over the crest of the hill and looked down, there's a car round at the apex of the corner. And I'm going downhill in the wet on slick tyres in a go-kart. I press the brake as well to try and stop. Don't stop, and go bang right into the front of him and almost get launched out my seat. The whiplash I got from that was unbelievable. But no, there was no damage to the kart, luckily, so we just continued going. But that was a bit of a sore morning afterwards as well. But I suppose that's happened to you a lot, Tom, as well. It's quite nasty, isn't it, when there's a car right in the centre, you can do nothing about it, just hit them.
No, actually, my first time in a two-stroke in the dry, a second time in a two-stroke in the dry, we had a couple of gentlemen drive who weren't particularly on pace, barely in the 125% rule, and I was coming out of a really fast corner. You're probably going about 55 mile an hour, and it became very obvious that one of them was right in the middle of the road. So I avoided them, thankfully, but it was a scary moment. The closing speed, you don't realise, is massive in those cars.
Yeah, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. But I keep saying we need to arrange a team day out where we all go-karting. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Probably Whitton Mill or something like that, where we can all just go and do some go-karts. I think that'd be fantastic.
Cool. Or we could do a 24-hour.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Get the
I'd love to do that. 24-hour go-kart race would be fantastic, because I could just drive all night. I know your hands get a bit sore, but get the right gloves, get the right things as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic as well. Just come here a second. Come here. I'm sorry for this as well, but seriously, do we have to dress exactly the same today? We're wearing exactly the same patterns and jeans as well. Well, I'm wearing shorts, but you've got jeans on, but still. Anyway, you need... Why? Oh, hello. Yeah, so Albon's in the wall as well. Sorry, why is that needed for something? Oh, I don't know. Give me a second. There's Alonso coming through. I'll be there in a second. As Alonso comes through, been asked what I want for it to eat, which is very nice as well. I don't know, actually. I could do with a ramen, to be fair. I haven't had that. Oh, no, I'm shaking the head. Salmon. I don't know, actually. A lasagna would be good. I'm just discussing my lunch order. Thank you. Don't forget the garlic bread. Love the garlic bread. So, what's everyone else having for dinner whilst we wait around? Steak? Nice.
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit. I've been. I was off college this morning because I woke up with a migraine. So thankfully I'm okay now after having a bit of paracetamol and stuff. I only have 2 lessons on Friday, so it was last day of term. I thought, well, I've got a bit of a migraine. I might as well just take a lie in and rest up. Big weekend.
Half term?
Yeah, it is.
I thought Holly Willoughby was lying. Damn.
No, it's lovely. Nice weekend ahead of me. ERC tomorrow, Donington Sunday, and then cricket Monday.
Yeah, cricket's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the cricket. I can wear a different headset as well. So, here's our practice results then from the Monaco Grand Prix. It's Carlos Sainz the fastest, 1:13.372. Fernando Alonso goes second, 1:13.710. Lewis Hamilton is third, Sergio Perez fourth. Charles Leclerc 5th, Max Verstappen is 6th, Lando Norris 7th, Esteban Ocon is 8th, Lance Stroll 9th, and Alexander Albon rounds at the top 10 for Williams, but did put it in the wall at the end, causing a red flag as well. 11th for Bottas, 12th for Magnussen as well. Then we get Tsunoda 13th, Gasly 14th, 15th for Russell, 16th to Vries, 17th Piastri, 18th for Sargent, 19th for Zhou, and Hülkenberg 20th, also touching the wall and breaking the rear suspension as well. Okay then, boys, and Omi in the pit lane. Predictions for practice 2. What are we going to see this afternoon in race runs. Tom, you're not going to be with us the rest of the... Actually, are you with us the rest of the day? What's the plan? You're just going to go chill now?
The thing is, I could be, but I probably won't be because...
well, if you're around, you can just join the comm box and watch the session. You know, we can do that now without the cameras. So you're welcome anytime. What's your prediction for FP2 then?
I think we're going to see a bit of a resurgence from Red Bull. I think it's unusual that they're suffering as much as they are. So I think they're gonna. I think they'll come back into it. I think they'll work on Max Verstappen's setup and they'll be able to come back into it in B2.
Josh, what about you?
No Albon in FP2. Hulkenberg will go back out because that's an easy fix. But Albon not so much. So maybe possibly more cars in the wall and more mistakes like what we saw with Leclerc.
Sounds fun. Omi, what about you?
Well, I'm with you for FP2, so I guess I'll tell you then. Gives me more time to think about it as well.
That is true. Forgot about that. Okay, well, all is ready to go and all is looking forward to it in 2023. The Monaco Grand Prix is go. We'll be back later for all of the action from practice 2. That is at 3:45. Also, don't forget as well, we'll be live with the IndyCar Carb Day as well. Don't know who's commentating in the first hour, but me and Josh and whoever's around as well, Omi, Thomas, or whoever is around for the last half an hour of Carb Day before the Indy 500 as well. Busy weekend. Can't wait for it all. Next up, it's F2 qualifying. My thanks to Tom, my thanks to Josh, my thanks to Omi as well. And to all of you watching, we'll be back for F2 qualifying coming up in around about 20 minutes' time. Bye-bye.